Hi, this is Jill. This is the second backpacking gear video that I'm doing this year, and today I'm going to talk about water, cooking, and hygiene. And filtering water is one of the most important things that you can do out on a backpacking trip. You don't know what kind of contaminants have gotten into what might look like a pristine water supply, such as a creek or a river or even a lake. And so filtering water is really important to make sure that all those microbes that might make you sick are killed and gotten rid of. On a basic level, boiling water is the simplest way to do that. So if you boil water for at least 1 minute, rolling boil, that will kill any kind of contaminants that are in that water. You might not have enough fuel to be able to do that, or it might be inconvenient, and so that's where filtration comes in. Carbon filters are probably the most popular product to use on a trip. I started out using the Sawyer Mini, super lightweight. The carbon filter is in here. You would put dirty water, quote unquote, stream water in the bag like this. And you don't even have to use Sawyer's bags. They have their other bags will fit these. Screw the filter on like that, and then pour it. It would filter, this is leaking, but it would filter into your pot or water bottle or whatever you might have. The other way to use these is to put stream water in a smart water bottle, screw this on top like this, and then drink straight from it like that way. What I found with the minis is that they clog really easily. I do a lot of backpacking in Dolly Sods, West Virginia, and the water sources there are very acidic, and that just does a number on these guys. And so you have to back flush it a lot. So basically putting water in here and then plunging it through to clean it out. And sometimes you would have to take this with you on a trip. So actually what I would recommend is the regular Sawyer squeeze. It's larger than this, but it's not crazy heavy either. And it seems to work a lot better than the minis do. But I ended up switching to a gravity system. And so now I use the Platypus Gravity Works, which is what you see hanging up here. And so you put stream water in this bag that's labeled dirty and hang it from a tree branch. And then this has a fitting for one of these pop-up lids. And again, this is a Platypus water bottle. And then, if I can get it on here, it's pretty fast. And I like it because I don't have to do any work. So it's really easy to use. You can get a lot of water this way, and it's a pretty fast way to fill up water bottles. And so the other nice thing with this that I ended up doing is finding this tube, I think on Amazon, that converts this to sort of like a Camelback type setup. So I can actually put this in my side pocket and then drink from this just like you would a Camelback. And, you know, I sometimes still use my Camelback. I drink a lot of water. So just depending on the type of trip, how hot it's going to be, I might still bring my Camelback. But this system with the gravity and then the drinking tube is really convenient and easy to use. Easy to fill, easy to refill. So that's a little bit about water. I'll go ahead and start talking about hygiene. And again, this is really going to be specific to your needs, you know, what you want to do personally. What I've typically done in the past is use baby wipes. And I use unscented baby wipes, and I do keep these in my tent at night. I've never had any issues with animals being curious about the scent or anything. And I put them in a lightweight sandwich bag, put those in a small bag, pack everything out. So used wipes go in another plastic bag, and I usually take a Sharpie and make X's on it. Put that in here. Aluminum trowel. You don't have to buy one of these. It does seem to be pretty convenient. You can use even like garden tools. You can use rocks. You can use sticks, whatever you might need to dig a cat hole. I know some people that bring just travel tissues, so that works too. And then hand sanitizer. And all of that goes in just a small bag. And then I hang it on my backpack, easy to get to. I typically do not bring soap or anything on a trip, and that partly because the baby wipes are kind of nice to wash my face or armpits or whatever. But you could bring Dr. Bronner's or camp soap in a little small container, as long as you used this well away from both camp and well away from water sources. That's okay to do. In the past, I actually made a little backpacking bidet. It's pretty nice. This is like a little silicone shampoo container, that I got at the drugstore, and just put water in it and squirt it out, and it's really nice. I find that it doesn't work that well in the middle of hot, humid summer, because I found that I would just never get dry. Because I sweat a lot, and then with this, even with quick drying underwear, it causes chafing. So I think under certain conditions, this works great. It's really hygienic because you're not touching yourself, and you feel really good afterwards. My new piece of gear in that regard is basically a pea cloth. This is by Kula Cloth, and then there's another company called Wonder Woman that makes these. So antibacterial fabric on one side, which you use, and then some sort of print on the other side, and hang this on your pack, and the UV will kill whatever bacteria is actually on there. So I haven't really used this that much yet, so I'm kind of excited to try it out this summer. And so then that leaves us with cooking, and I use an alcohol stove. This is the Trangia. This is the pot stand and windscreen. And then it opens up like that. And you use denatured alcohol. I got this at Lowe's. And then I put fuel in a little bottle like this. And this is enough to last me a weekend for a weekend trip, maybe 4 days, depending on how conservative I am with fuel. Fuel goes in there, you light it, and it's an open flame. And then my pot sits on top of that. I use an anodized aluminum pot. It's got a handle and a lid, just like that. So it's easy then to take on and off. You light the alcohol with a match, and so I just bring regular matches. I bring a couple of the thunderstorm matches in case the weather turns really bad, and these will light in pretty inclement weather. And then I do bring a little bit of dryer lint, which makes a good fire starter. So if that's more of a safety thing than a cooking thing, but I keep that all together in one little plastic bag. And so then I put the fuel, the stove, the fuel, and the ignition all in one bag together. And then I carry a small insulated cup for coffee in the morning, and I use a bandana almost as a napkin, which sometimes gets a little gross, but I can put all of that in there together and seal it up. And so then the cup does not rattle inside the pot, which helps. And then I also made a koozie for this thing. So I do a lot of cooking in my pot. If you were just going to boil water, then a jet boil might be the way to go. A canister stove works well too. It's sort of almost a hybrid between the two. So it boils water really fast, but you can turn the flame down, the heat down, and simmer if you need to. The thing I like about the alcohol stoves though too, besides them being really quiet, is that there's not that much waste. So once you get through with a canister stove and you've got an empty canister, it's hard to find ways to recycle that. But I made a little koozie for this guy, so if I was cooking on a cold night, I could do that. And then you can make koozie for pre-made backpacking meals as well. And so that's the video I have for today: water, hygiene, cooking. Next one will be about food. See you then.